Hey, you there! I want to remind everybody that if you end up liking this video, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. And right now, YouTube says that over 90% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so it would really help, and with that... Hello everybody, I'm Joel Homie, your guys' host for another great episode of the Joel Homie Chef series, Minecraft Monday, where today's episode is actually going to be based around something related to the mansion once again. Because today's video, I want to actually work on the quote-unquote Grand Path, which is what I've just decided to call it of recent dates, otherwise it didn't really have much of a name in the past. But I want to work on it today because, as you can kind of see, it's kind of simplistic and boring because it's just a straight line. And technically speaking, there's actually two grand paths because, if you don't know, my mansion is, technically speaking, made up of actually two of my mansions. Okay. A skeleton just spawned. But yeah, so here is the second grand path. It is almost exactly the exact same, besides obviously very small things like flowers and stuff like that. But what I want to do today is work on this in such a way that makes it look like two individual paths that actually sort of like go back and forth and sort of make like an S shape, for lack of a better word. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just do a time lapse with this normal view. I'm not going to get the camera count in for today's the video because I want to have the sort of head-on view of me actually placing everything rather than the camera view of up in the sky. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do it to one of the paths, and if I like it, I'll do it to the other one, and if I don't, I will sort of insert a clip of me talking about what I want to do instead, and then start a new time lapse. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into actually just, well, transforming the Grand Path into something better. And to do this, I'm going to need a lot of cobblestone for the actual exterior of the pots, or at least what I have thought out for them so far. And then I'm also going to need dirt for, obviously, planting the plants in. And on the subject of plants, I may or may not have to go find some, because my plant supply is kind of low. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And with that, welcome back everybody. I hope you enjoyed that short time lapse, but as you can see, we now have a bunch of very nice looking planters running down the grand sort of hall.
Because today's video, I want to actually work on the quote-unquote grand path.
Or whatever you would like to call it, the grand path, whatever I end up calling it in the title. But I think it turned out really nice, so as you can see there down on the pathway we have three sort of planters, whatever you like to call them, on either side of the intersection. So as you can see here we have three of the planters with some little sort of decors in the middle, and then the same goes for over there. I'll go ahead and run down to the floor real quick and we'll take a closer look at what I actually ended up doing for these. So, upon further inspection, as you can see, I ended up actually not doing a raised design where they would have been one block high. I actually ended up integrating them into the floor level so that you could still walk and go between the sides of the pathway if you had wanted to. And then for the actual planter areas, I put a variation of acacia leaves and a bunch of bone meal, some of the allium flowers, I believe they're called. And then most of these little planter areas have a small little pond area, and most of them do also have berries to bring in a little bit of that nice red color. And then in between, I did add some of these sort of cobblestone decors, structures, whatever you like to call them. They're just made up of a bunch of cobblestone and stairs, walls, and slabs. And then as you can see, the same goes for over here, just a little bit different. Same goes for here. And then I did also add a couple different variations of flowers as I went along and got more, like some have more berries, some have less. Some have some of these purple-ish flowers. I believe this is a vine of some sort. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. So this is a peony, whatever that is. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then on the other side of the intersection, it is almost exactly the same, if not exactly the same, of course, excluding the slight variation in the actual areas. So this one, actually, that is not supposed to be there. That is just while I was working on converting stone for these structures. But other than that, as you can see, these all turned out very nice, and I really like how it adds a bunch of greenery and a little bit of the structure. Makes it look a little bit more sort of proper and royal, I guess, if you get where I'm coming from there, with the whole entire nice sort of high quality, sort of a high class look, I guess. And then the other side I haven't converted yet because I thought I would do that off camera rather than actually putting it in the time lapse, because it will be exactly the same. So all you can imagine over here is just the exact same thing that's over there. I will be doing that off camera, and maybe in a future episode when I go over something like news, I will mention it, that I have converted it. But with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really like how this turned out. I did add a bunch of other bone meal around, and the general look of the area just looks absolutely lovely now. I like the amount of greenery that is here rather than before. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video,